beautiful souls. You are another me. I'm another you. I witness you. I love you. Hey, welcome to my circle. Welcome to my corner of the world. Thanks for stopping by. And welcome to this beautiful community that I am actively growing every day. So thank you to everyone out there who's helping me to grow. I appreciate you very much. More than you know. More than you know. Welcome back, everybody. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. This is a fun channel about everything spiritual, woo-woo, cosmic, energetic, star child fabulousness. That's why we're here. And today we're talking about some spirit talk. Today is Sunday, June 28th, on this video. And therefore, this video is going up on June 28th tomorrow, because today's actually the 27th. But so tomorrow the video will go up, and it will be tomorrow's video. So we're all in alignment. And if you missed it, check out my latest teeny little short that's going to go up right before I launch this video tomorrow. Or today I'll put the short up, then tomorrow this video. But it's just a cute little short of me with cacao and just doing a tiny little sacred ceremony with these little, we'll just say, yogurt cups that have been recycled by my daughter and her partner. And I thought, those are the cutest little cacao cups. So yay. And Aura Cacao is my cacao, by the way. O-R-A, Aura. And I am not endorsed, I'm not sponsored, but I always like to give a shout out to Aura because they are the company that I love and that I always choose. And what else was I going to say? Well, let's get on with today's message. Cacao! All right, that gorgeous color. Oh, she's beautiful. So thank you, Mother Cacao. Thank you, Pachamama. Thank you to Spirit, the universe. Thank you to beautiful Palo Santo and all trees. Oh, she's still burning. Oh, she still burns. So today I am just, happy 222. Today I'm just free-forming it and really actually just talking a little bit about me and my path as a medium and how I came to understand that I was a medium and my story. And so in a nutshell, there is no nutshell, big, small, it's too small. A nutshell is too small for this, but I can give you the short end of it. Basically, we're all mediums, every one of us. We're all mediums. And so if you believe that that is true, if you are of mind, of spirit and soul in alignment with that, then this is probably a great video for you. And if you are not, and you think such things are rubbish and nonsense, then poof. Yes. So, this video is about mediumship, my journey with it, and how I got started being a medium. And whoops, happy 333. I guess the table needed cleansed. And why I'm here today. So hey, I'm Rainbow, otherwise known as Erin. And I'm a former elementary school teacher for a school district. I swear there's something in my hair, but okay, maybe not. It might just be me. But I was in a school district very close to Lake Erie, teacher for many, many years. That's a whole other video. If you want to see why I resigned from that district, I have a video for that. I will continue to try to link videos. I have not figured it out yet because I am an iPhone user, and y'all, the YouTube studio and things don't like iPhone people, which is fine. So I will continue to try to figure out how to do it, because if you know how to do it and you're watching, please leave me a comment. I'd like to know how to link another video to this video using an iPad and an iPhone, please. Please, thank you. So beautiful souls, this message is coming to you on a Sunday, and it's Spirit Chat. And today I want to tell you a little bit about my story finally and why I'm on this channel. So I'm a medium, right? I am a medium. We all are. My story began from the point that I remember when I was about 4. And I would ask the grown-ups around me when we would go into homes where there was spirit activity, like active spirit activity, okay? And so I'm also a former teacher, and I'm still a teacher of everything spiritual, cosmos. You know, I coach people in mediumship, all kinds of things, some of my offerings and services. But if you're ever in a situation where you're not sure if it's a ghost, a spirit, energy, there's residual energy, which is like spirit dust as far as I'm concerned. It's a very complicated answer, but basically it's residual leftover energy that is a result of energy from active spiritual experiences, energetic encounters of the spiritual kind going on, and most likely with an intensity. Okay, a lot of times I have always believed that the more intense the situations, the more that the energy lingers. And that's what residual energy is. It's basically lingering energy. It's not active. You can't communicate with it because that's what a medium does, right? We're a channel and we communicate with spirit. So if you're like, I think it was a spirit, then you're probably correct, because your intuition probably was trying to alert you to begin with, to say, hey, there's a spirit nearby. Do you want your radars this up here, or suck them down in? How are you feeling about that? Because your spirit team is there to help you, right? And to, look out for you, guide you, suggest things to you. They will never interfere unless it's in your contract with them that they particularly intervene at a certain time. So going back to what we were saying, mediumship, everything mediumship. Sometimes I rabbit hole. Hopefully my rabbit hole on here finds you well, and I really hope that this video helps someone. I really hope that it helps a lot of people, actually. So if you are enjoying the video so far, and if you're interested in mediumship, spirit, everything spirit, cosmos, working with energy, I talk about everything. Reiki. I hope to expand and learn more about Akasma. I'm a cacao ceremonialist, but I have other offerings. I do tea ceremony. I can do water blessings and water ceremony. There's a lot of different offerings I have. So I will let you know now that my link tree is in my description. So in there you will find my email, and if you would like to inquire about getting private services with me, if you're out of town, I can be happy to accommodate you remotely, and we can connect and learn and grow and laugh with spirit together. And if you're local to me, I will let you know I'm in Ohio, and that's all I'm going to let you know. And I'm in Ohio. That's where I live. That's not currently where I'm at, but I live in Ohio now. So I'm 7% Hungarian, so I'm very GMC. Okay, it's very fun. So anyways, I have offerings. If you're interested, check my description, the link tree. So mediumship is what we're talking about. And how do you know if you're a medium? And how did I know? And things like that. So I used to ask adults lots of questions. Usually, and it's not their fault. They were unaware. Just like I was very unaware that the tip of the Palo Santo was about to fall off right when I grabbed it to put it over here. And it just went. And I do believe that everything is in divine protection and also in order. So anyways, I didn't realize that at the time at all. Because, we can't all be aware all the time. Part of our lessons on earth are to come in unaware so that we can experience contrast. That's what Jerry and Esther Hicks and Abraham have talked about in a lot of their books. The Vortex is the book from the Hicks and Abraham that I highly recommend. And it's the only one I've ever read, to be honest. But I would recommend any of their books, actually, because they're fabulous souls. Happy 1010, New Beginnings. And then, so as I got older, I asked more questions, and people didn't understand how to deal with me and to how to communicate with me and how to understand me, because, you know, I was already telling people when I was 7 years old about my past lives as an Indian girl and an Indian boy, me at 7. So I was remembering my lifetimes where I was an indigenous member that was gently treading on Mother Earth. I'm going to drink to that. Cacao! Cheers to Mother Earth! Also, by the way, cheers to Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun, all of the waters. We are about to go into a full moon. I forget which sign it's in. If you know, can you please let me know? I want to say it's either in Sag or Capricorn. I think it might be in Capricorn. So full moon possibly in Capricorn. Any Capricorns out there? Yeah, raise the roof, Capricorns. You know, full moons are very powerful. So anyway, back to me. I know I keep deviating from talking about myself. I love talking about spirit. I don't always love talking about myself. So thanks for hanging in there with me and listening to my spiritual TED Talk. Anyway, so as I got older and I got to be, you know, of age to be able to take out the Stephen King books in the library, I just began, because I was a child, I was very naturally curious, inquisitive, and intelligent, and it was getting squelched and not honored, and I wasn't allowed to really explore in depth. I was allowed to do what I could do when I could do it. So I did. And I began reading everything I could think of that related to what I wanted to know about, which was Stephen King. And, you know, moving things with your mind, because, you know, of course I read Carrie, and I read The Shining, and I read Firestarter, and blah, 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 blah. I read Firestarter not knowing that I'm a Leo. I knew I was born in August, but I didn't know I was a Leo. Anyway. I understand Stephen King is a horror novelist, and I love Stephen King. I always have. I've been driven through the town, one of the towns that he lived in Maine, and it was an honor. He's a very brilliant man, and that ends my tribute to Stephen King, who I'm sure is still with us, but I'm just paying him a little tribute on my channel. Anyways, Stephen King really helped me to explore my inner worlds of imagination and be limitless within my own self as a child. Thank you for that, Mr. King. Thank you. So I did. I developed beautiful imaginary worlds reading Stephen King, and then V came on. Oh my God, did anybody else watch V? Please tell me there's more geeks out there like me that watched V. I know my Jimmy Graybeard did too. We both geeked. I think we both recorded it on our cassette tapes so we could listen to it later. I think he video recorded it. He was way more sophisticated, if I remember correctly, than me. Jimmy Graybeard recorded it on video, I think. Don't quote me on that. But I recorded it on my cassette player, and then I could listen to it, and I was all into it. I didn't believe that the reptilians were all bad. I just couldn't get behind that. Except for Diana. What a bitch. Sorry. She just was. So, anyway. So I started to educate myself on occult topics. I guess you could call that category back then. And horror movies didn't do it for me. Not really. I was not into most of the things that were on the TV. I didn't like it. So I escaped to music a lot. I escaped to nature a lot as a child, and music. And I was an only child until I was 8, almost 8. Yeah. So there was a lot going on. And we lived in areas of the place where I'm from, which is Erie, Pennsylvania. If you know anything about Erie, Pennsylvania, I could give you the unofficial tour of Erie and your skin would crawl. Well, some of the things. And of course, it's an old city, and of course, there's going to be a lot. It's rich in history. Don't get me wrong. Don't want you to think that Erie's like a creepy city. It's really not. It's just every city that's 150 plus years old is going to have stories. So I'll just say one name associated with the Erie, Pennsylvania area. If you look Erie, Pennsylvania up, folks, and then type in Mad Anthony Wayne. That's right, Mad Anthony Wayne. Put the two in together in your search, and I hope you're not squeamish. Just letting you know now. It's quite a story. I'll burn some tallow on that note. It's one of Erie's best tales. It's one of our top lore, Mad Anthony Wayne. And something with his bones. And that's all I'm gonna say. Okay. When I was a school teacher, at Halloween, I would softly educate and have fun with that kind of history in a appropriate, happy 1717, in an appropriate way for third graders, littles. But littles who were super smart. So anyhow, as I progressed into teenage years, I began to be aware that I was able to predict things, big things. Friends that weren't much older than me at the time, leaving the planet, if you know what I mean, young, predicting things like other friend getting hit by a car. These things happened in real life, and so I was very afraid of that at that point. I think I shut it down for a long time. Even to this day, my team knows, my spirit team knows that I don't want to know when I'm going to die or how, or anyone else, unless I'm directly part of their soul contract to intervene or help in some way or do something or be of action in some way. And then I definitely want to freaking be notified. Otherwise, no. Stay in my own lane unless directed by spirit in the universe. So anyway, I grew older. I graduated. I had a lot of experiences growing up that other grown-ups around me questioned, and an answer, a solution, or a visual of how it happened would pop into my mind, and I would say, "Oh, well, they picked it up, and they're like, that couldn't have happened," and I'm like, "Well, that's what I'm seeing. It lifted up, and it, by itself, yes." So I'd have visions, and I would feel things, experience things, have clear audio moments where I would hear things, and I learned to shut it down around most people, most adults, most especially immediate family. No offense to them. They were and are very close-minded, and that's okay. So I started to fall into a lot of societal conditioning about belief in certain things, energetically, spiritually, demonically, all that kind of stuff. And I everybody was exposed. I shouldn't say everybody. Large populations of people have been exposed to scary, violent, suspenseful, horror films, whatever they are, movies that have created a lot of myths. And I just want everybody to know that I have spent a lot of my life as a medium now debunking. For example, Slimer ain't green. Okay, so fun things like that. Anyway, so as I got older and reached a time where I matured as a young woman and into adulthood, and I had kids of my own, my sensitivities grew a lot over the years, to the point where if I would walk into a home or a building and there was an active spirit there, oh, I knew it right away, and I knew where they were. If there was an active portal anywhere, vortex somewhere, get Erin, she'll point it out. Easy, no problem. Still, same. So everything, all of my experiences and my way of experiencing the world and learning about spirit, the cosmos, and how to interpret their language, and relate it to my then world. Very confusing, very confusing. Until one day, thank you, Laura. My friend Laura, that also taught at the same school that I did, who was friends with our beloved, beautiful, dear friend Natalie. So Laura, if you're watching this, yes, it's about you. I'm about to tell the medium story, and yes, it's about Natalie. And I love you, and thank you. Please know I love you when I describe the story next. Okay. So Laura bugged the crap out of me for like 3 weeks, every week. Hey, you gonna watch this show, Medium? And I was like, no way, too scary. Don't believe in that. Can't, no, And each week, this beautiful soul, happy 2244 on the timer, this beautiful soul every week would come and find me, or we'd run into each other synchronistically, which at that time we just thought it was coincidentally. But now we know there's no thing as coinky dinks. So like 3 to 4 weeks, and she'd ask me every week, because it was a weekly show, Medium, with Patricia Arquette. And by the 3rd week or 4th week, I don't remember, I was getting overwhelmed and overstimulated a bit by being happy 2323, by her continuously asking me about it, and because I had no intention of watching it at that point. And I know at that point now that if I hadn't watched it, Spirit would have come through someone else or in another way to get the message through, right? It would have been a different modality, a different person, a different experience, because that's what they do, y'all. So don't worry if you don't understand every message, that comes through. That's okay. You're not meant to, or your head would explode or implode. I'm not really sure which. If anybody knows the answer to that one, let me know. Please let me know. I don't know. I'm going to pour some more cacao, y'all. God, I know. Look at the color. Oh, God, and it's so beautiful. Thick chocolate yum-yums. So cheers to all of you, collective. I just want to say, I feel like I'm getting more and more comfortable here on YouTube than when I started adding shorts and making new videos that were actually more than 5 minutes, and about substantial things that had happened and that I'd learned in my life that I was ready to share. Like, oh my God, you guys, I'm so freaking excited to be on here with you. Thank you. I honor you. I witness you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. that you can feel. How grateful I am for you, collective. Thank you. Thank you for honoring me with your presence. Time and time again, you keep coming back to hear my stories. And so I'm going to keep telling my stories because I love it when you come back and we hang out. And if you like my stories, it helps you. Then, you know, I'm doing what my soul's mission was and is, and I'm very excited about that. So, to continue on with mediumship, yes. Ooh. People tell me I like to leave cliffhangers. I guess that's probably the Leo in me. Anyways, I did watch the show, and everything worked out divinely. My first husband, Mark, at the time, he was out the night that I watched it for the first time. My kids were sleeping really well. And I was just able to sit there by myself and just watch this very adult show. And I usually watch much more comical, lighthearted, you know, sitcom, you know, Desperate Housewives. I was a teacher. I had very high stress. And then I had little ones. And so sometimes when I used to watch TV, I like to just escape. I understand why people like TV. I just don't associate with the conditioning that's brought through the media. So I like YouTube because I can be very selective. Okay, wow. Oh, look at that. Okay, so we have 2 cards. So I continued to become more spiritually, energetically stimulated by my reality that was continuing to evolve as I continued to learn more and more about working with spirit and what a medium really was and all these things. And like I said, I was married at the time to my first husband, and his father, who was a beautiful man, he took me to the hardware store he worked at the time to show me, and I ended up pointing out my first portal that day without being shown where the portal was. I pointed it out, and he confirmed that, yep, that's where all the trouble was coming from, right there. And so thank you to him. He is now in spirit. Thank you. Well, he also, I'm thanking him because he also recommended a little church out in the country, just outside of the city I lived in at the time. If you know, you know. And he recommended this little church called a spiritualist church. And I was like, well, the word spirit's in there. I'm calling. I'm going to find out what this is all about. Like, okay, because when I watched Medium, it triggered me a lot. in all kinds of different ways. Not good ways, not bad ways. I experienced a lot of awareness awakening within me all at once, which was very overstimulating to me and a bit overwhelming. My soul and I had some very immediate intimate recognition after quite a long time. Things like that were happening. I know I was definitely activated. I know I was activated because visually, if you've ever seen Medium, please drop me in the comments. If you've ever seen Medium, the show with Patricia Arquette, based on the real life and story and events of Alison Dubois' life. There's the real Alison Dubois. And she's in Arizona. Or at least she was in Arizona. Anyway, the whole show is based on Alison Dubois. And she is fascinating. And read her books. If you're into mediumship, please read Alison Dubois' books. Her writing style and her insights. She's so crisp and precise, and her examples are so beautifully matter of fact, and she holds such compassion for the living and the other side equally. And I highly recommend reading Alison Dubois' books. I know I've mentioned her before, but anyway, so I watched Medium. I was immediately hooked, and I was highly activated, so much so I could not contain it, and I started telling, happy 30-30, started telling everybody in my family, I'm a medium, I just found this out, I'm so excited for myself, I just know I am. Now mind you, when you're aligned, or aligning, and you're activated like that, and parts of you and fractals of you have awakened, you know that you know that you know, and nobody can tell you that you don't know, right? And my family was like, well, you must be in a cult, and blah 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 blah, so please don't speak of that in front of us, or anything different than what we believe. And I was like, okay. So I went to the church, and I found my people. That's right, I began to find my people, because my family told me I must have been in a cult, and please don't talk about it in front of them. So, cheers. Both things can be true, because all things are true. That is what they believed at that time. I don't know what they believe at this time. So to be fair, I am saying that, because I'm not trying to, be a bitch. I am being very honest, though, about my circumstances with how I was received. And that's what I was talking about. So it was not received well, except for my soul family. My soul family right away, they questioned, but in a way that was like, oh, that's fascinating and interesting for you. And you could tell that they could feel the resonation coming from me. So those friends, thank you, love you. They've been by my side ever since, and I thank you all, and I love you so much. You all know who you are, past and present, no matter where you are. Okay, my friends from on the road and my friends from home. Okay, my friends from everywhere that I've been, whom I'm now spiritually, lovingly aligned with. Thank you. So, after I watched Medium, it was a whole whirlwind. I found that church, and I started to be able to talk with, observe the practices of, learn about energy and energy work and light work. And everything in me understood and knew right in that moment that was who I was. And that's why I was here on this planet. So much so, when I first went to the church, I had all three of my daughters, who were small at the time. Like, the twins were like 5. And my youngest daughter is 20 years old today. Happy birthday, Sage. I love you. Sage couldn't have been more than 6 to 8 months old. She was still in her baby carrier. And the twins were like 5. And now the twins are 24, about to be 25. So, and Sage is 20 today. I hope you're having a beautiful day, honey. I love you so much. And now, just like that, y'all, they're grown up. The first time I walked in that church, they were just littles. And I was welcomed with such beautiful love and compassion. Such loving eyes and beautiful open hearts and hugs. And I'll never forget it. Mary Wheaton met me downstairs when we all gathered back together for donuts and coffee and conversation after the service, which I had never seen that done before. I was not a church person. I am not a religious person, y'all. I know I'm talking about spiritualism. And I am, my basis in mediumship is spiritualism. But I'm not limited to just the container of a religion, any religion, y'all, okay? Anyway, but I was very fascinated, and I quickly became immersed in the culture of this church and the religion, and began to explore everything in very healthy ways and meet people that were very, very beautifully woven into my experience. Who made a very powerful impact on the rest of my life, including this now moment as I'm getting emotional. So I won't go into details about the beginning of church, and so I will just, let's just say, me having a relationship with the spiritualist church that I was involved with proved to be very productive, very powerful, very impactful, insightful, very challenging, very heartbreaking, very frustrating, very angering, and very healing, very empowering, and very moving, because I am once again moved to take action for this little church. It's been like an up and down. For years I've been going back with this little church. So anyways, I've been with this little church in Waterford now for almost 20 years, off and on. And many years not going, not having anything to do with it, going back for years. I mean, we just have that kind of flow relationship. So, and I've met a lot of beautiful people and had a lot of gorgeous experiences and experienced a lot of contrast in my life. And so sometimes it's been very bittersweet to be at that church, but nonetheless, it's a very sacred place and a very sacred area where the church is itself. It's very sacred land. The whole area that I'm from, the surrounding areas, and the tri-states of Pennsylvania, New York, and Ohio, phenomenally rich in history. So, after many years, off and on, learning from many beautiful elders and teachers, spiritualists, friends, mentors, people who appeared to help me grow, show me how to deal with, face, and integrate contrasting experiences. I had so many beautifully eclectic experiences, but I learned so much. And in my times away from this church, I would go and serve spirit, humanity, and the universe, the cosmos, in so many other different ways, including being a school teacher, a mother, a woman who was very unaware at the time of the divine feminine that she was and that she is. So my mediumship story is too big for 38 minutes, but that's the start, okay? And I will try to tell more about my mediumship journey and my spiritual journey, because I'm not just a spiritualist. I've had a lot of experiences, and I am very excited to share them with you. But right now, I'm just going to share these couple of cards and give you, collective, a little message at the end of this reading. Your first card is caraway, like caraway seed. By the way, I want to say that my beautiful daughter Sage, who is 20 years old today, bought me this deck. It is the Green Witch Herbalism deck, Oracle cards. Thank you, Sage. I am using them on your birthday. I love you. And I just noticed that my earrings here match the moth in the corner. don't know if that's going to pick up, but that's cool. Okay, so your first card is Caraway. Magical properties of Caraway, y'all, are health, protection, fidelity, and anti-theft. So universe is sending you some extra protection. So if you were sitting around asking for protection, if you were actively taking steps that involve protection in some way, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you know, cleansing your energies, you know, keeping your vibe high, whatever you're doing, you know, those things are all good and they work for protection. Just feeling the universe's divine hold, divine hug, and divine love. Okay? Just know that you are loved. And then we've got nettle. I've always wanted to try things with nettle, or make like a dip, or make something with it, or drink it as a tea, if that's possible. Someday I will. Magical properties of nettle. Cleansing, more protection, health, and deflecting negativity, y'all. Excuse me. So you are being sent these beautiful herbal blessings to keep you in clear, calm, beautifully high vibes of your own choosing. So if somebody else is projecting at you, and if that's what these cards are giving you the feeling about, like they are for me, you can just be like the monk and you can hand it back. There's a story I tell about a monk, and he's sitting on a bench in a park, and a man comes up and says, "Get out of my bench." And the monk just sits there because he understands it's no one's bench. He's just sitting there. And as he's pondering, the monk is pondering whether he should just get up and walk away. The man continues to yell at him and, you know, get out of my seat, get out of my bench. And he starts to get very nasty. And now the monk is a little, you know, frightened, and he's just pondering what to do, and he's being very quiet. And the man starts screaming at the monk, "Why aren't you doing something? Why aren't you saying something back to me? What's your problem?" So the monk looks at him very calmly and says, "Have you ever received a present that you did not ask for or want?" And the angry man yelled, "Yeah, so?" And the monk simply looked at him and said, "Your anger is a gift that I did not ask for and that I do not want. You may keep it." So that's projection in a nutshell. And so remember, y'all, if people are projecting upon you, or you just feel that there's a new pressure around your energetic fields, or you feel off balance in some area, or you just know where you're out of balance and you know what to do. If you're feeling off, or just feeling like something is amiss, please take yourself seriously. If I can leave you guys with something on this channel, please trust yourselves, because you do know. You are everything, and you do know. Please trust that. And so I leave you then, beautiful collective energies, with this final activation from my team to yours. Okay? Remember to focus your thoughts or your meditations, your studies, your imaginations on caraway and nettle for your highest good in all ways. And I thank you, and I invite you to like and subscribe and become part of our community and this beautiful, lovely forum that we're creating with Jimmy Graybeard, whom I will be reunited with soon. And we, again, offer up all these beautiful energies to the universe, the cosmos. Happy 4444. Many blessings to you, collective. Thank you. And if you like this video, please check out my channel. I have lots of different topics, y'all. I have cacao. I've got more on mediumship. I've got readings. I offer tarot and oracle mediumship readings, spiritual readings. Check out my link tree, and you can find me on Insta, Facebook, and see more of me on YouTube in my shorts and videos. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for stopping by. Many blessings to you. Bye.